Going to make a very traditional gazpacho soup now. We're going to make it in a classic Spanish way. So the first thing that we need is our tomatoes, which is really the base and the foundation of gazpacho. You want to just make sure that they're very ripe. The more flavoursome the tomatoes are, the better end product you're going to have. So just give them a little smell. Should be nice and pungent. We're going to remove the little core at the centre. So just run your knife in around the centre. So once you've taken out those cores, just flip them over, and we're just going to make a little piercing into the skin in a little cross like that. It's going to help us remove the skin from these tomatoes in a second. And now I've got a pot of boiling water on over here, and I'm just going to drop those tomatoes in literally for about 10 to 12 seconds. Okay, so straight out of the tomatoes and into cold water. Don't want them to actually cook. We're just doing this process to remove the skins. So in they go. Now, as our tomatoes are cooling down, we're going to make the lovely little flavoursome part of our gazpacho. So we're going to add in our saffron. Quite expensive saffron, but very traditionally Spanish. Tons of flavour in it. We're going to add in our cumin seeds, our garlic, a couple of cloves, and a little bit of black pepper. Now we're just going to crush those until they become like a nice smooth paste. Should probably take you about a couple of minutes. So now you can see that starting to come together, really incredibly pungent flavours coming off there. Next we're going to add in a little bit of our sherry vinegar. That's actually Don Carlos sherry vinegar from the Rioja region. And we're also going to add in our olive oil. Using extra virgin olive oil with lovely pungent flavours in there. Really, really tasty. So in that goes. And then it's a case of just bringing that whole mixture together. Now last thing to add in there is just a little bit of water. Using nice ice cold water. Really is a refreshing soup that you're going to eat in the summertime, so nice and cold, chilled soup. Bring that around and we'll set it to one side. Now moving back to our tomatoes. As you'll see, the skin should just come off in one easy motion once they've cooled down. So just peel that away. Now once our tomatoes are peeled, we're going to get rid of the skin and we're just going to roughly chop those. So first into quarters, and then just running the knife through them until they're nice and chopped. Now our tomatoes have sort of broken down, all those lovely juices starting to flow out. We don't want to lose any of those because that's where all the flavour is. So just straight into our bowl. So tomatoes nicely finely chopped. What we're going to do now is I've got some really chilled water straight out of the fridge. So important that it's nice and cold. In that goes. Don't need any stock or anything here. We're going to rely on all those natural clean flavours. So in that goes. We're then going to go back to our little mixture. Saffron, cumin and that lovely Don Carlos extra virgin olive oil. And in that goes. The beauty of this dish is because we're using olive oil, there's no cholesterol in it, so it's really nice and healthy. And then it's just a case of stirring that up. Very important that you season it, so generous amount of salt in there. Salt's really going to draw out the sort of nice fresh flavour of the tomatoes and the saffron and the olive oil. So just stir that together. Now with our gazpacho, straight into a bowl, so we want to just reach down and get all those lovely fresh tomatoes along with that nice juice. So pile them into the centre. All those lovely little saffron strands in there, absolutely gorgeous. Nice big generous portion. Really is a very summery dish. Nice and fresh, that cold water in there, the fresh tomatoes. We're just going to garnish it with a little bit of fresh Serrano ham, so a Spanish type ham, available in most supermarkets now, so just generally up on top. Okay, now the last ingredient that I'm going to pop on there is I just popped a little whole red pepper into the oven, roasted it off for about 20 or 30 minutes, so a little garnish of some roasted red pepper up on top. And we'll just finish that with a little drizzle of our Don Carlos extra virgin olive oil over the top. It's a lovely, refreshing summer gazpacho with some roasted peppers and serrano ham.